Andrei René Roussimoff was born on May 19, 1946 in Coulommiers, France. He was the third of 5 children born to Boris and Marianne Roussimoff, who were of Bulgarian and Polish descent. Growing up in Meulienne, a small farming village in France, Andrei's size quickly set him apart from his peers. By the age of 12, he stood over 6 feet tall and weighed more than 200 pounds. Due to his ungainly size at such a young age, Andrei was unable to fit into standard school desks and clothes, leading to feelings of isolation and discomfort during his formative years. Despite the physical challenge he faced, Andrei was described as a gentle and affable child. He was known for his kindness and willingness to help others, traits that would become hallmarks of his personality throughout his life. As a teenager, Andrei Roussimoff, already standing over 6 feet tall and weighing well over 200 pounds, was working on his family's farm in Meulienne when he was discovered by a local wrestling promoter who, given Andrei's size and presence, recognised his potential as an in-ring attraction. At the age of 18, Roussimoff moved to Paris and was taught professional wrestling by local promoter Robert Legiat, who recognised the earning potential of Roussimoff's size. He trained at night and worked as a mover during the day to pay living expenses. In 1964, Andrei made his debut in the wrestling world under the ring name Jean Ferrer, or sometimes Monster Roussimoff. He started wrestling in France and other parts of Europe, gaining experience and honing his skills in the ring. Andrei quickly became a sensation in the European wrestling circuit thanks to his imposing size, natural athleticism and undeniable charisma. It wasn't long before the spectacle of Monster Roussimoff garnered attention further afield internationally, and it was in large part down to his wrestling career in Japan that played a significant role in solidifying his status as a global wrestling icon. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Andrei made numerous appearances in the country, wrestling for various promotions and engaging in memorable matches against some of the top talent of the era. One of Andrei's earliest ventures into Japanese wrestling came in the early 1970s when he competed for the Japan Pro Wrestling Alliance, one of the country's premier wrestling promotions at the time. His massive size and imposing presence immediately captured the attention of Japanese wrestling fans, and he quickly became a beloved figure in the country's wrestling scene. In 1974, Andrei participated in a historic match against Antonio Inoki, a legendary Japanese wrestler and founder of New Japan Pro Wrestling. The match, held in Tokyo's Budokan Hall, drew immense attention and remains one of the most iconic moments in Japanese wrestling history. Although Inoki emerged victorious, Andrei's performance showcased his incredible strength and agility, further endearing him to Japanese audiences. Throughout the 1980s, Andrei continued to make periodic appearances in Japan, often competing for NJPW and All Japan Pro Wrestling, 2 of the country's largest wrestling promotions. His matches against Japanese wrestling stars like Giant Baba, Jumbo Tsuruta and Genichiro Tenryu were highly anticipated events that drew large crowds and garnered widespread acclaim. It's widely believed that during his time in Japan, doctors first informed Roussimoff that he suffered from acromegaly. Given the proposed procedure of treatment to cure this disease was still in its relative infancy, and the belief by Andrei that the only marketable thing about him was his size, the operation that could have ultimately saved his life was refused. Roussimoff moved to Montreal, Canada in 1971, where he became an immediate success, regularly selling out the Montreal Forum in the process. However, over time, promoters eventually ran out of plausible opponents for him, and as the novelty of his size wore off due to overexposure, the gate receipts began to dwindle. In 1973, Vincent J. McMahon, founder of the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, suggested several changes to Roussimoff's booking and presentation. He felt Roussimoff should be portrayed as a large, immovable monster, and to enhance the perception of his size, McMahon discouraged Roussimoff from performing manoeuvres such as dropkicks, a move that incredibly, a man of Andrei's size could actually perform in his younger days. He also began billing Roussimoff as Andre the Giant and set up a travel-intensive schedule, lending him to wrestling associations around the world to keep him from being overexposed in any one region. Promoters had to guarantee Roussimoff a certain amount of money, as well as pay McMahon's WWF booking fee. Andrei officially joined the WWF in the mid-1970s, where he quickly became one of the promotion's most dominant and beloved stars. His massive size, towering over his opponents at allegedly over 7 feet tall and weighing well over 400 pounds, made him an instant attraction. One of Andre's earliest and most notable feuds in the WWF was with fellow giant Big John Studd. Their rivalry culminated in a legendary body slam challenge at the first ever WrestleMania in 1985, where Andre emerged victorious. Throughout his time in the WWF, Andre formed memorable tag team partnerships with various stars, including Hulk Hogan, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Rocky Johnson, and Haku, among others. Inarguably, Andre's most memorable match in the WWF occurred at WrestleMania 3 in 1987 when he faced off against Hulk Hogan for the WWF Championship. The match, billed as the Battle of the Giants, drew what was claimed as a record-breaking attendance and became one of the most iconic moments in professional wrestling history. Despite Andre's defeat, the match remains etched in the memories of wrestling fans worldwide to this day. In the years leading up to his passing, Andre's health had been in decline due to the effects of his condition. Acromegaly had taken a toll on his body, leading to various health issues, including back problems and limited mobility. Despite his declining health, Andre continued to make sporadic appearances in the wrestling world and remained active in the entertainment industry. On the evening of January 27, 1993, Andre was in Paris, France, where he was staying for medical treatment related to his condition. It is reported that Andre died peacefully in his sleep in his hotel room. News of his passing sent shockwaves throughout the wrestling community and the world of entertainment, as fans mourned the loss of one of the most iconic figures in wrestling history. Andre the Giant's death indeed marked the end of an era in professional wrestling. However, despite his passing, Andre's legacy continues to live on, as he remains one of the most celebrated and revered wrestlers of all time. His impact on the wrestling industry and popular culture as a whole ensures that he will never be forgotten.